So there seems to be quite a bit of confusion about swing path, launch angle, attack angle out in the industry, and I thought this 3D illustration might help clear things up. Here's Christian Yelich talking about the misunderstanding, or rather misinterpretation, of launch angle.
Launch angle. When I say those words, what comes to your mind?
I think it's something that a lot of people misinterpret as far as how to achieve that. I think launch angle just depends on where you catch the ball. I think it has nothing to do with swinging up, swinging down. I mean, nobody is trying to hit ground balls.
So what Yelich is talking about here is loft coming from timing or hitting the ball out in front. And it also works the other way, which we'll examine in a minute. So what follows is not a philosophy or an opinion, but simply what the best hitters are doing based on the data. So let's take a look at some of the basic definitions first. So there's explicit swing loft, which is the tilt in the swing from the catcher to the pitcher, which could be positive or negative. Vertical swing angle, which increases as pitches move lower and to the inside. And horizontal bat angle, which is essentially the timing element. So with these basic definitions under our belt, let's take a look at where consensus views are misplaced. So this is how the industry is currently viewing attack angle or elevation angle. But in reality, it's not one angle. It's actually the combination of three different angles, which we'll take a look at in a minute. And actually the pitcher is controlling two of these angles. So we're going to go through some illustrations, and what we'll see is that there's actually loft on all three angles, resulting in two very different types of loft. So a loft hitter's feel is the tilt in the swing from catcher to pitcher. We're going to call that explicit loft and set that to 0, so we can take a look at implicit loft, which results from the other two angles. So if we take vertical swing angle and combine it with positive horizontal bat angle, typical for an inside pitch, it results in positive loft, and more vertical angle equals more loft. However, if vertical angle is combined with negative horizontal bat angle, as is typical for outside pitches, the loft contribution is negative. So let's take a look at what the best hitters are actually doing based on the data. And what you find is that for a low inside pitch, the vertical swing angle is very high, as is the horizontal bat angle. So all the loft is coming from the early contact point. And the explicit swing loft is at or close to 0. Conversely, for a high outside pitch, the vertical and horizontal bat angles combine for a negative implicit loft. So players are using a higher degree of explicit loft to offset that. So to the player, the angle combinations for these two pitch locations are going to look and feel very different. However, the overall attack angle or launch angles will be very similar. So let's take a look at the angle combinations of Joey Votto, and what you notice is he's flexing the amount of explicit loft to offset or counterbalance the impact of implicit loft, which is largely being dictated by the pitcher. So a little bit more loft on inside versus outside pitches, which is not uncommon. But what you see is overall loft consistency across the hitting zones. And while I didn't put the overall averages for major league hitters on this chart, what you notice with Votto relative to the average is that on the inside pitches, he has more vertical angle and he's significantly more out in front, so more positive horizontal bat angle than the average. So going back to our original illustration of attack angle, you can likely see how problematic it is for players to manage a swing based on the total all-in attack angle. So whether you're a player, a coach, or an organization, I hope this video has given you a deeper understanding of what the best hitters are actually doing based on the data. So if you'd like more content like this in the future, please subscribe. Thank you.